socialists.
Oh my god.
Here I am. Here we are. In fact, welcome to the Sunday live stream. Happy Socialist Sunday, everybody. Welcome to the stream. I'm your host, Lefty. Thanks for joining us this evening. Who have we got in the chat? Casey Marshall, first in there. Great to see you. Doc Davies, Flo's with us. Socialix, JK, Guitar Guy. Good stuff, hope you're well. Sorry for the slightly delayed start there, by the way. It's because I've got a whopping file of a whopping interview loaded into the broadcast software. It's just slowing down a few things, but it's definitely worth some minor technical difficulties, as you'll soon see. For now though, make sure you've hit that thumbs up button on the stream. Give us a share around your social media. Super chats are open if you've got any pertinent points or questions. Super thanks are open as well if you're watching back later on. You can also support the channel via the Buy Me a Coffee page. Excuse me. There's a link for that in the description. Thanks to those of you this week who bought coffees on the channel. Keep the caffeine flowing, keep the content coming. Speaking of content, just launched a new video out shortly before the stream. Bob Vylan's latest on-stage outbursts, quite controversial. Please do check that out. Speaking of content, apologies for having to take one of the live streams down this week. One of the Brews at 10 live streams that had the interviews with Pete and Moshi on. That was because of a post-editing error. Unfortunately irreversible. But those two interviews are now out separately as well. Please do check those out. They were both at the Defend Our Juries protest the other weekend. And we've got a new exclusive interview with Alex, who was down there, a good friend of mine. Great interview as well. More about that and what's coming up on tonight's stream shortly. We'll go into the fondue lounge as we always do. Before that though, I'd like to give a customary thanks to all of the members on the channel. I really do hope this works, people. Fingers crossed. Okay, hopefully this one won't freeze. Let's see how we do. We'll know when it changes. There we go, it's changed. That looks good so far. Thank you very much, everybody. Currently on 99 members, just one shy of the 100 mark, on our way to the target of 250. Thank you very much to all 99 people on this list. This is the latest members list, hot off the press. Some great perks for you to enjoy as well. If you want to check those out, it's just 99 pence to join this list of marvellous members. See, some of you have been enjoying some of the exclusive content, the that you get from memberships lately. Hope you've enjoyed those. Feedback on members only video is even more appreciated, obviously with it being exclusive. Want to just make sure that it's worth the fraction of a price of a tasty beverage. Thanks a lot for your feedback, thanks a lot for your memberships, as well as people who've gifted memberships recently as well. That's a great way to support the channel. Okay, I think I've done enough self-promotion for now. Let's let the people be seen as we get the chat up there on the screen. There we go. And you'll also notice there is a poll for those of you who are watching live. This does concern one of the stories I'll be going into later in the stream. Zach Polanski has apparently laid down the gauntlet and challenged Diane Abbott, saying that he's got a good chance of taking the seat. Quite a bold exclamation, you might think, considering Diane Abbott's held the seat since the 1980s. But if you think that Zach Polanski is candidate, should he become Green Party leader, of course, on that assumption, if you think he'll succeed, then please select aye, and if you think that Diane Abbott can hold on, then select nay. Now that's in whatever guise Diane Abbott might be standing. I should reiterate this. There are many calls for her to leave the Labour Party. She stood as a Labour candidate, of course, last year on a matter of principle, because at the time, and as always and currently, Starmer seems to be trying to edge her out of the party. But whether it's with Labour as an independent, she might perhaps join whatever becomes of Your Party.uk. Who knows? Still around 4 years before the next general election, so a lot of time to go. But do share your opinions in the poll. Action-packed stream, so much going on. Well, it's been a busy day in general. I've had the interview with Alex, of course, some video editing for the Bob Villain video that just came out, and a very hot afternoon here in Manchester. It's just getting a little cooler. I think you can tell from the sound of my voice in the interview just how exhausting it was earlier. So I just adjust the live stream logo there. Yes, Katie, 1987 to be precise. That's when Diane Abbott won her seat and became the first black female to do so in UK history. She's held that seat ever since. And it would be a tough one to take. I mentioned how certain so-called safe seats for parties, the concept of safe seats for parties, diminishes election by election. But in terms of individuals holding seats, I think Hackney under Diane Abbott is right up there. That is one of the toughest ones. There's no doubt about that. I happen to know that some of our regular viewers are actually in that constituency, so if you are watching, please do share your thoughts in the chats or in the comments if you're watching back later on. Now then, it's an absolutely steaming hot summer evening. But I don't know about you, but that really does get me in the mood for some hot cheesy fondue. So let's get over to the lounge now, and I'll discuss what's coming up on the stream as we enjoy our fondue. Just before I do that though, warm thanks to Herbie Ranger and the Supersonics, the Sunday live stream background band. Please do take a bow, fellas, and do forgive us while you take a break as we go over to the lounge. Herbie Ranger and the Supersonics, people. Well, hey, here we are again. Oh, great. I'm absolutely gasping for some steaming hot fondue. That's really going to go down well in this searing summer heat. Let's tuck in, people. Help yourselves. I'm assuming this is all government subsidised fondue anyway, so you might as well get your fucking money's worth, people. Grain Turner, welcome to the stream. Thanks for joining us in the chat. Michael, good point there as well. Yes, Hackney and Islington North, respectively, are some of the safest seats in the country. That is certainly one that yourparty.uk can put in the bank. Islington North, as well as Coventry South now. Zara Sultana. I'm sure that they'll back Zara as well. Nina Sadie's with us also. Hot cheesy fondue, is that just cheesy cheese? Socialist asks. It is, in fact, yeah. It's probably the least refreshing thing you could consume right now. And it's hot in here, it gets a bit musty. I'm looking at you, Hodge. Yep, the cheeky face there on the left of your screens, Margaret Hodge. Something of a digestive issue when it comes to processing hot cheese. So it's best to eat quickly and then leave before, well, let's put this slightly, it starts to come out the other end. Suffice to say, the two people at the back and the dog have tactically chosen a very wise move in being on the other side of the fire from Hodge, lest the gases get ignited travelling through the air. So hopefully they'll have combusted enough so as not to reach the nostrils of that couple and the dog. Okay, enough of this nonsense. Let's get on to what's coming up in the show. This is a serious channel all about politics and society, as well as environmentalism from a left-wing perspective, people. The exclusive interview is going to be the first in proceedings with a good friend of mine, Alex, like I said. A great campaigner. She was one of the over 500 people who arrested at the Defend Our Juries protest in Parliament Square the other weekend. It was great to catch up with her and hear her thoughts on everything. This is also, I shall point out, the same lady who I recognised the voice of on a video, if you'll recall, covered at the time. I think it's okay now. Sorry about the buffering there, people. That was YouTube Studio. They're taking it in turns between the broadcast software and YouTube Studio. Don't worry, you didn't really miss anything. I was just saying, after the interview, we're going to the latest on the ceasefire talks, as well as this confrontation. Lammy? What am I on about? Zach Polanski laying down the gauntlet. He's after Diane Abbott's seat. And there's more on protests, some good news actually, as well, to come up concerning acquittals and releases from some comrades and friends of mine. Yeah, plus more. Right, let's get into things, people. Do have an opening comedy clip. I'll get through this and then we'll get on to the interview. Let's not waste any time. Mr. Quimper, thank you for joining us in the chat. Yes, apologies again for the buffering there. We do have the Primate team, the IT workforce, on standby here in the studio, just in case there's any more problems. But knock wood, we'll all be okay. The opening comedy clip comes from Broken News, regular featurers, as it were, on the channel. This is the latest one from them about the raising of the terror threat level, something that we're going to be delving into on tonight's stream.
Welcome to Broken News. The UK terror threat level has been raised, but it's not Islamic or far-right terror that's driving the change. The Metropolitan Police says the greatest current threat to public safety comes from pensioners, and our reporter has more.
Years ago, if you'd have whispered the word pensioner to anyone under the age of 70, you'd have gotten a warm smile as they fondly remembered the smell of boiled cabbage, mothballs and the vacant-eyed dribbling farts of old Nana Betty. But today, if you were to shout the word pensioner in a public place, you'd be likely to create a wild, screaming panic, and many would duck for cover behind bollards. Now, the Joint Terrorism Analysis Committee has raised the threat level from substantial to Werther's Original, its highest level in decades. Armed with nothing but a thermos, a tartan shopping cart and the sheer will to queue indefinitely, rogue OAP thugs have been holding up these. Thankfully, this one has been disarmed, but the ones just behind me here on Parliament Square recently were very much not. And amid the searing paper white glare, brave police officers arrested hundreds of members of the Cardigan Cartel on terrorism charges. They detained more people, in fact, than they did in the aftermath of the 7/7 bombings, underlining the incredibly serious nature of these crimes. For weeks now, marauding codgers have waged a campaign of terror, striking fear into the very heart of British public by viciously sitting down on some grass.
Oh, for fuck's sake, people, we've got this thing again. Yeah, that's not the way his head actually moves, don't worry. It's the, it's the possession error on the broadcast software again, people. Okay. Phil, I think it's time to get the team out. Sorry, people, you're going to have to excuse me again for a few seconds, just while we sort this clip out. Apologies. It's the heat. Yeah. The gear doesn't like the heat. It looks like a looping PS1 TV animation. Yeah. It's not natural. You'll get whiplash or worse, I think, if you try and do that. Be right back with you, people. Phil, if I've told you once, I've told you 1,000 times, you have to give it the fruit after it's done the thing, otherwise it's Pavlovian response techniques. It's pretty basic, Phil. Just let me know when the mic's back on. Absolute half-wit. Okay, people, we're back on the stream. I think we're up to about here. Apologies for the delay.
Queue indefinitely, rogue OAP thugs have been holding up these. Thankfully, this one has been disarmed, but the ones just behind me here on Parliament Square recently were very much not. And amid the searing paper white glare, brave police officers arrested hundreds of members of the Cardigan Cartel on terrorism charges. They detained more people, in fact, than they did in the aftermath of the 7/7 bombings, underlining the incredibly serious nature of these crimes. For weeks now, marauding codgers have waged a campaign of terror, striking fear into the very heart of British public by viciously sitting down on some grass, instilling sheer bone-chilling dread by gently singing, some of them slightly out of tune, and paralysing city streets with horror by shuffling slowly with walking sticks just behind me here. Police later told me that these sticks could at any point have been turned against innocent children and babies, smashing their fragile heads in like little birdie eggs. Thankfully, before things turned deadly, the Met Police had the clever idea to divert brave police officers away from less serious incidents like big burglaries, knife stabbings and rape, and brought them here to Parliament Square to arrest hundreds of these bus-pass bastards. Back to you.
That's not Parliament Square.
Thank you. What a lovely story.
Go on then.
Well, just some breaking news coming into us, and we are learning the sad news that freedom of expression has died at the age of 27. Born in 1998 as Article 10 of the European Convention on Human Rights, freedom of expression had been severely ill for the past few years. We'll bring you more on that later if we're allowed to. Freedom of expression. He died today. What a lovely story. That's all from Broken News. You're up to date.
Larry and Paul, the Broken News, do go and give them a subscription over on YouTube. Great stuff as always from those two. RIP to freedom of expression, part of the 27 Club, joining Kurt Cobain, Jim Morrison and Jimi Hendrix there. Rest in peace. Herbie. Okay, people, just a reminder, make sure you've hit thumbs up on the stream, give us a share around your social media. If you'd like to follow us whilst you're there, we're available on Blue Sky at MyLeftEye UK. You can also find us on Twitter and Mastodon. Hit those buttons, people. So without further ado, we'll get into the main event. Here you can see this evening's interviewee was arrested as part of the Defend Our Juries protest. One of over 500 who were arrested. There were around 1,000 people there. 800 of them took part in the protest itself on the lawn of Parliament Square. She's got a great story to share with you all. So let's get into it. I've put some pictures and other bits and pieces. Alex managed to make it into quite a lot of the mainstream media as it happens, so I've put a montage of that into a loop in the background for you to enjoy. So this is the premiere of this interview. It will be available as a full video. That'll be members only later this evening, and then that will go public at some point tomorrow. But for now, enjoy this premiere here on the stream. I will just let this play. I'm not going to interject because we've already had enough technical difficulties so far on the stream. I don't want to risk it freezing if I pause it, so I'll just play this through. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this as well. Please do share them in the chat and in the comments if you're watching back later on. Thanks, everybody. Okay, the next guest that we have in part of our exclusive interview series with participants in the Defend Our Juries protest from last Saturday is Alex. How are you doing?
I'm very well, Lefty. How are you?
I'm very good. Thank you very much for coming on the show and sharing your story with us tonight.
That's okay. Thank you for asking.
Oh, it's good. I know you've made a bit of a trek today in the hot London weather.
Yeah, trekking around town. It's very, very hot, but that's climate breakdown for you, isn't it?
It is. Good point as well. So do you want to just get into telling us a bit about yourself, a bit about your background?
Yeah, okay. So basically I've been part of Extinction Rebellion for many years and also do quite a lot of intersectional work. So been part of like the BLM movement, housing rebellion, few poverty action, mostly climate, but social justice and reparational work and things like that. So yeah, what I would be campaigns and strategies here in the UK and abroad.
Brilliant. Yeah. Well, I know how busy you are, and we've been helping put stuff together in the past with the Not My Bill demo and the Don't Deport Marcus demo and things like that.
Yeah,
So
that was really good. That was for me. That was one of the most powerful demos. The Not My Bill.
that was great.
I've
Yeah.
got so many groups working together
Yeah.
for it. That was another hot day as well. I did think for some reason
It was.
some
Yeah.
people were chained to Parliament railings with paper chains. Do you remember that bit?
Yeah, I remember that because they were renovating the lawn, weren't they, at the time?
Yeah,
I remember
yeah.
getting politely told that we couldn't put stuff up on the railings by one of the, the monument wombles. What are they called? The the people who sort of manage the statues asked us to take. They have it's something warden. It's like there's something memorial warden or something like that.
Yeah,
But
Warden,
yeah, so we
yeah.
couldn't put those up. Yeah, I remember that day.
Yeah, that was a hot day. But I remember we had so many different groups, and there was the Gypsy Traveller League as well. We managed to do something about race and discrimination.
Yeah.
And we managed to work with them, and that was really good. And I've kept contact with like all of those people as well. So so that's what I do. I like to do quite a lot of solidarity networking as well, not just like come and join my protest, but like how do we actually build something together, and how are we in service with each other, and how do we work like with solidarity in unity together in all our movements.
Yeah, brilliant concept. Definitely worth putting a lot of effort into. And that was a first in history, wasn't it? The first time a traveller had been into 10 Downing Street with a letter.
Yeah. He had a coffin, we got a letter, and he managed to get into Downing Street and deliver the letter, and it was like break discrimination.
Yeah.
So that was pretty intense. It was a really good demonstration.
I might try and.
Just so many different types of groups and organisations and people coming together. That's kind of really what I like seeing.
Me too. I'll see if I can dig up a few clips from that day actually. Just play them on the stream.
So it was a busy day.
Yeah, it was. And the Not My Bill demo, I guess, was the sort of canary in the coal mine for this legislation that led to the DOJ protests. So,
completely.
Yeah,
completely. If you think about it, so I can't remember what year it was, but maybe like in 2020 when we were doing Kill the Bill, which was the very beginning concept of what this new crime sentencing act was going to be. There were Kill the Bills going up and down the countryside, like loads of people doing actions there and taking it to the streets. But a lot of people didn't really understand how draconian it was going to become, and how oppressive it was going to become. It was a little bit like, no, that won't really happen, it can't happen. And now it's hit us.
Yeah.
And sadly, it's not only that it hit us with like climate protest or anything like that, but it's really, really come into full force now. The Palestine protest has been happening. It's like really landed just in time for the Palestine protest. So they're the ones who are really feeling the brunt of it.
Mm-hmm.
And this prescription of Palestine action is just literally probably the worst part of it, but I feel, and lots of other people feel, that it's the beginning of something.
Oh yeah, I don't think enough people realise just how much of a legislative breakthrough this could be. To prescribe a group for a non-violent action, they could target a whole bunch of groups for a whole bunch of things, and this could snowball into complete chaos.
Yeah, and we just don't know what direction they're going to go in. And the fact that, sadly, this is a Labour Party.
I know, of all things.
This is like so hard to believe that I'm actually demonstrating against the Labour Party, which kind of sounds so bizarre. I'm obviously a former member as well, Yeah, on the left kind of socialist field. But yeah, we just don't know how far it's going to go, where else going. And my real fear is that if this Labour Party allows something like this to continue, like a prescription of a non-violent direct action group, whether it's Palestine, it could be climate, it could be LGBTQ, it could be BLM, it could be anything in the future. But if it happens now and it goes through, my fear is that what will happen if, and it's a big, not that big an if, reform, walking to the seat of power in 4 years' time, it's just kind of laid the groundwork for reform to get and go, okay, therefore there will be no more protests for anyone.
Yeah, Yeah.
You know, and I think this is really what people are taking action for. It's just like, we didn't manage it with Kill the Bill, we didn't manage it with some other stuff, but we have to stop this kind of prescription now before it gets worse, and all of us are going to be affected, any kind of protest group that could be affected, but also before Nigel Farage takes the throne of Downing Street. You know, how could we prevent it from getting even worse when they're in? Because I'm sure Nigel Farage and Reform are not going to welcome climate activists outside their door.
Oh, no. Well, he'll just imitate Trump and look what's happening in Los Angeles right now with the National Guard. He'll do his utmost to sort of imitate any sort of equal measures against protesters, and that's a pretty scary thing.
And this Labour Party are literally, they think it's just going to be one group, but it could be any group, and so we have to be really mindful. Like, we have to look to the future and go, okay, so if this is what we're doing now, how bad could it possibly get when the first ever right-leaning party come into power?
Yeah.
You know, so it's not just safeguarding us now, it's safeguarding us in the future. Because anybody who wants to protest about something, if it's not, you know, maybe the farmers will get away with it, but then the farmers are on the Reform side, so maybe they won't need to protest.
Yeah, which, I don't know. I don't know where the sort of compass is at, but that's a bad call. Because Farage isn't going to do anything to help out the farmers either if he gets in. No, definitely not. But you've got people like Jeremy Clarkson who are sort of pushing it as well, which doesn't help, you know.
Yeah. But it doesn't. So this is my fear. It's like, again, we're in this awful kind of repression of our rights here right now, but it could possibly get worse.
Oh, definitely, and it's
probably going to get worse before it gets any better.
Yeah, that old saying, you know, first they came for the communists. I didn't speak out because I wasn't a communist. Then they came for the Lenin. You know, it's that old thing playing out in real time in front of our very eyes.
Yeah, exactly.
So whereabouts was it? Obviously, you're involved with a lot of cross-group interaction and solidarity stuff. But when did you first start to get in with Defend Our Juries? Was it around the Trudy Warner case, or was it just for this specific action the other weekend?
Yeah, so I've kind of followed the Trudy Warner stuff and all the other actions that we were doing outside courts for the last couple of years, just thinking it was pretty amazing to have to, when Trudy got arrested for holding up the first placard.
Yeah.
Which actually, what does it say? Like, jurors have the right to convict, or to convict with their own conscience.
Yeah, to acquit based on
with their own conscience. Yeah, and that being on a placard or something on a board out behind the Speaker's chair, isn't it, in Parliament?
It is, yeah.
So it's actually a plaque outside there.
And in the Old Bailey.
So to actually be arrested for something that is kind of, you know, we pay homage to, is really quite.
It's like something out of South Park or a Family Guy sketch or something, really. Isn't
it's actually quite hard to believe, you know, that this is actually, she didn't make this up. It's actually something that's enshrined in probably bronze.
Yeah.
behind the Speaker's chair or in the Old Bailey. So I've been on a few actions, and some of the actions before were just very, you know, symbolic. It was, you know, when I think outside Southwark Crown Court, when like our friends Phoebe Plummer and Roger Hallam were sentenced and things like that.
Yeah.
And that was they made these really beautiful kind of like walk-in art galleries where people were sitting holding pictures of political prisoners. And the first time I did it was actually quite poignant and quite upsetting for me, because I turned up just to hold a placard of a political prisoner. I didn't know who they were or whatever, and I picked it up and then sat down with it, and it was a silent protest, and I was sitting down, and then I turned the placard around to have a look, and it was a friend of mine.
Oh.
And I was like, oh my god, what? What? And then, and that was really quite upsetting. We were sitting in the rain and just like sitting there holding these images. And then the girlfriend of the person on the placard came up to me and said, oh, that's my boyfriend. And it was such an amazing moment. Like, I'm sitting there holding your boyfriend's picture as a political prisoner, and she was just there, and there was a really lovely photo of us just like holding hands and having a bit of a cuddle. And then, that was the first one, and then there was another one And then when Palestine Action got prescribed, it made sense for Defend Our Juries to come out and show solidarity and try to push back against the prescription, because, again, there's 24 or more Palestine Action activists in jail right now. You know, there's been the Filton 18, I think it's now the Filton 24.
That's right, yeah, there are more Pal Action, in fact there aren't more than JSO in prison at the moment.
Yeah, I think the last JSO member might have been out recently, I'm not really sure, but maybe there's a few people in.
Roger Hallam, yeah.
Roger Hallam just came out the other day.
Yeah.
So, again, and they've been held, some of them have been held for a year without any trial, without any contact with their family. This is just, like, usually young kids that are trying to do their best to stop the genocide from happening.
Yeah.
And they're being sent to jail, in prison, in probably some horrendous circumstances, on terrorism charges. So when Defend Our Jury decided that they were going to come out in solidarity with them, I was just like, yes, that's a no-brainer. We have to be there. We have to support it. We have to show the British public what our government is willing to do and what they have, and then what they, they're doing this in public, aren't they? So what can they do with behind the scenes kind of stuff as well? And it just makes me really kind of scared of where we're going.
Yeah, and she's not. Well, Yvette Cooper doesn't seem to be backing down at the moment, but I think this really could be a poll tax moment. If she sticks by this, I think it could really see the end of her political career, at least as Home Secretary.
And what a hill to die on. I mean, like, we know everything that she's done is all been illegal, and it's been lies. The information that she has that Palestine Action were going to do something else and do this, was like, I don't really think so. Where'd she get this information? We know that she's been in talks with Trump in March, and he was really angry about his golf course. Yeah. And also we know she's been in talks with quite a lot of people from the Israeli government as well, who are really angry that Palestine Action are having a direct effect on their weapons of war and their machinery that's like creating this genocide. I mean, these weapons are made on UK soil. They are. With UK government approval, that are killing and maiming, and it's just awful what they're doing, some of these weapons. And to arrest and then to put in jail people who are trying to stop it, you just can't. I just can't fathom it.
No, I mean, what are people going to tell the kids, the grandkids, about how we allowed things like this to happen, and what we did to the people who tried to stand up against it? It's certainly not something that I'm going to say with pride in my voice in the future. That's for sure. Yeah. I mean, like, my kids all said to me, like, they know I was a climate activist, and they're like, yeah, we get it, but, I'm like, well, I just don't want to, on my deathbed going, I wish I'd done more. I wish I'd done more, and just knowing that, our Western governments around the world are allowing these atrocities to happen, we don't stand for it, and we're not going to stand for it, and we're going to do our utmost to try to stop it. And the problem, having a group like Palestine Action prescribed, because they were so effective at what they were doing. Oh yeah, really well organised.
That's really what it is. And I think with Yvette Cooper, if she carries on, it's going to get really. It's stupid because it's lies. But I hope that maybe this will be the end of her as well. I mean, like I said, what a hill to die on, because she's going to have to keep going until she gets her way. Yeah. And that's going to put. But we know that it's not policeable.
No.
We can't really do it. We just can't manage it. They can't manage it.
Totally not. And well, they've already organised the next one, which is set to be even bigger. So they've got an even bigger situation on their hands, and that's just within weeks. So
yeah, and let's see what scare tactics they come out with this time.
Yeah, let's see.
We've cleared the prisons for you, and you're like, okay.
Yeah.
Great. You're gonna send me to prison straight away.
Tell us about all the saints that you've let out on the streets in place of these octo and nonagenarians and wheelchair users, blind people, and people suffering from
We've had to let
Parkinson's.
the rapist and the convicted murderers go. Because
Yeah,
we
oh, that's a fair swap, Gov.
we
Yeah.
need room for the people holding up cardboard.
Crazy. But anyway, just back to the actual protest the other weekend. You were down there from the beginning, just before it started at 1 p.m. Do you want to take us through your experience with the arrest procedure?
Okay. So a few of us turned up together. I'd created a little group of people who was their first time to be arrested, so obviously they were very nervous. So I spent some time just helping them, just having the most really, really sweet chats about what should I wear, where's the nearest toilets, and should I bring sunscream, should I bring a hat? Does
this go with the inside of a jail cell? I don't know if it might clash.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. So what does it look like inside? All those kind of things. So that was really sweet, and we had a really nice little network of friends, just really being in solidarity and supporting each other. So we turned up at 1:45 and found a space on the grass. We were quite close to the statues, but on the grass, so we were quite the first people to see on the very first of the grass. And it got completely overwhelming very, 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 very quickly. As soon as we sat down, it was quite intense. The media was there, world media was there, lots of amazing people supporting. Obviously, people who couldn't take that kind of action for their own reasons.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of people. We reckon there was probably over 1,000 people there on that square anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was probably about 800 people sitting down for the first wave.
Yeah, I think the official numbers are around 800 for participants. Yeah.
There was about 800. So we sat there in the heat, and it was sunny, and it was hot, and there was a lot of time it was very quiet and very somber and very reflective. And then some really lovely young women that I know from the Palestine movement came and stood by us and started singing this really sweet little powerful song. I'm not going to sing because I'm such a bad singer, but it's a very emotive little song. And there were just three of us just sobbing, because we just heard this little song, and it just takes you right back to why you're there. Yes, This is about freedom of speech and freedom to protest and oppressive laws, but it's also we're here because we can't bear to bear witness anymore to what's happening in Gaza, and also what's happening in the West Bank, and what's happening to the whole of Palestine, how it's being eradicated in front of our eyes.
Yeah.
So there was lots of moments where you kind of went internal, and you really had a lot of reflection of why you're here, and that made it really, really powerful. That made the action really, really powerful.
Yeah.
Well, there was a lot of what we like to call the Zionists who turn up to try to disrupt.
All six of them.
Yeah, all six of them turned up and wanted to disrupt and get their little bit of glory. We sat there in silence, ignored them, but other people tried to engage with them. But in the end, they get bored and move away.
Good. Well, they are just trying to antagonise. That's the only reason that they show up, and then they'll obviously try and blame the victims if it gets confrontational.
Oh yeah, completely. And
so many
some of
times
them
before.
get paid. Yeah, and some of them officially get paid for doing that role.
They're a renter mob.
Yeah. So they have to go out and earn their crust for a bit. So that's what they do.
Yeah.
They probably check in and go, I did 3 hours. How much does that cost you? The board of deputies. How much is that going to pay? How much is that going to cost you?
Yeah. Getting a queue for the checks behind Cooper and Starmer and Lammy.
Yeah, I don't know who's paying them, but somebody's obviously paying them.
Yeah.
So we sat there for a while, and then they did start picking people off one by one, and it was really rather random. So we had no idea. Well, they knew that there was going to be a lot of people, and they told the organisation, and they put in the press that they were going to mass mobilise with a police force. There was going to be over 3,000 police officers there, which they were, but the police officers seemed to just be holding a kind of perimeter line around. And then they were coming in, picking people off here, there, and everywhere. So it was kind of random. Yeah,
but we've never seen a reaction like that before. Pete Harrison, who's one of the other people who I've interviewed, he said that he did crowd control at Wembley Stadium. Obviously, he's done a lot of protests in Westminster as well, and he's never seen anything like that. These lines of police, 3-5 people deep,
Yeah. It was kind of like watching I don't know what's called. Well, they call the red devils, what they call those flyover, the RAF, watching them.
The red arrows.
Like how did it was
Red
quite
devils.
Yeah, but it's like, so what have you been told? What's your formation?
Oh, right, yeah.
How are you going to do it? How are you going to do it? It was making no sense. It was just like a lot of police just like standing there.
Yeah.
Like not really knowing what they were doing and what they were doing. And then so like, there's quite a lot of Welsh police and police from Durham who didn't really seem to know what they were doing there. Anyway, so I think I got arrested around 4 o'clock. So that was like 3 hours already from sitting in the sun. I had a police officer called Ryan. Now, I know we're not supposed to talk to the police and we don't engage in them, but I must admit, Ryan was quite a nice chappy. And he tried his utmost to be as nice and polite and with me as possible, asking me really sweet questions like, am I okay? Are you all right? Do I need anything? And stuff like that. And then, what's your name and address? And I was like, Ryan, you nearly got me there, mate.
Yeah.
Didn't fall for that one. But, yeah, he was actually okay. And then I went kind of non-compliant, so went a bit floppy, and got taken into a van. And then this is the most surreal bit, though. So they get taken into a van from Parliament Square, driven around the corner to St Charles Street, which was the home of the Foreign and Commonwealth Department and office.
Yeah.
And then they had set up the street triage police stations. Mm-hmm. So when you got out of the van, you could see these 3 kind of marquees at the end of the road, and then these lines of people with police queuing. At one point, I just went, is this a soup kitchen, or am I waiting for an Oasis gig? Because it was just so surreal. And then as soon as we got out of the van, they said, okay, you've got 2 options. You either stand on this line here and you do your street bell and you're out like, as soon as you get done. There's only one condition, not to come out again on the Palestine action, demo or protest, or you're going to Southampton. And so, of course, at this stage, I was like, Southampton? Where's Southampton? And everybody, even the police that were in our little kind of like circle, were going, why are we going to Southampton? They had no idea what it meant to be going to Southampton. And so it just turned into a bit of a farce because, the police, each arrestee had their own police officer. So there were lines of police with the arrestees. The arrestees were sitting on the floor reading their books, having their snacks. The police were just kind of like fanning themselves, going, God, it's hot.
Yeah.
And the queue took like a very long time to get closer and closer and closer to what would be the booking in.
Yeah.
And by about 7 o'clock, it just really descended into some kind of Monty Python sketch where I just said to the police officers, listen, do you mind holding my line in my place in the queue? I'm just going to pop to the pub around the corner and I'll be back. And they were like, oh, get us a pint.
Yeah. Okay, if you're buying.
Yeah, I'll be like, okay, you buying? Ryan, are you buying? Who's buying? It was just a fun. One officer was sitting on the floor looking at her, and I thought she was on Tinder, but she was actually said, oh no, I need to buy a kettle. and another one was just reading a book. It was like literally. And so my officer kept saying to me, are you going to give me your name and address? And I was a bit like, I'll do it when I see fit to do it. And I said, because right, I don't particularly want to go to Southampton, but if I go, you're coming with me.
Just for viewers as well who aren't familiar, that's about 80 miles away to the sort of southwest of London on the coast.
On the south coast. And then my charming officer said, well, yeah, it's not far from where my mum lives. And I was like, oh, great, everybody.
So look, put the fucking kettle on, let's go.
Yeah, we've got an Airbnb, but we're all going to stay at Ryan's house. And even the police are going, yeah, okay, I'm in, yeah, let's all go, we'll go to Southampton. It literally just turned into some crazy comical thing. Considering we were being arrested on terrorism charges, it was like, okay, slap on the wrist, off you go, or go to Southampton.
I bet, when the people who do fall under that same umbrella with the law, I bet they don't have such back and forth banter with them, No,
I mean, there was other police that were not so nice, and even like just further up in the line, you could see there was quite a lot of like anger and resentment, and a little bit further back in the line, I had one sergeant kept coming up and down and saying to my arresting officer, she's supposed to be going to Southampton. Then Ryan's going, is she? Oh, well, I don't want to go to her. I'm not going.
You don't want to, because he's got to go with you as arresting officer. That's the procedure.
Yeah, his the whole point was like, can we just get out of here as soon as possible? Yeah, and so it was really farcical if you think about it. There's all these potentially 522, technically, we could be terrorists now. A slap on the wrist, don't do it again.
Yeah.
And you get street bailed. So, I mean, I think a lot of people, a lot of us felt like, I can't bother to go to Southampton. I was like, I've been outside for 8 hours. I just want to go home.
Yeah.
But others really decided no, they would call their bluff, and they ended up in Bromley or Croydon. I think the furthest police station was Sutton, not to be confused with Southampton.
No, Sutton Coldfield.
No, Sutton, as in...
Sutton.
Just
Sutton.
outside London.
Right, yeah.
So I don't even know where Sutton is, but I think it's like past Kew Gardens way, or maybe something like that.
Well, it's not as far as Southampton, that's the
No, it's not
main
far
thing.
Southampton. And then other people got taken to Harrow, which is kind of just northwest of London.
So it was a bluff.
It was a really, really, really big bluff, and I don't blame anybody for falling for it, because it was just like, okay, I really can't be bothered to go, so why not?
Yeah, it's about a 2-hour drive down there from London, I think.
Yeah, but then it would have been like how would you have got back? And it was, again, we did our bit. I kind of think a lot of people saying, I've come, I've done it, I've risked arrest, I've taken the arrest, I'll leave now and maybe regroup and come back another day. But, it was a farcical experience, the street bail.
So, yeah, I can't think of another example on that sort of scale, just how farcical it was and how caught out, they expose themselves as being unprepared, they expose the legislation as being unpoliceable, and most of them think the same way the public do, that it's just a complete waste of their time, and they're more or less being forced into enforcing a law that is completely unmanageable.
It's totally unmanageable, and it's unnecessary as well. It's not even just about these octogenarians and these elderly doctors and nurses and pensioners and just people with disability getting arrested. It's the British public don't want this. Most people in the British public don't want this prescription to stand. So it's just such a massive overreach. And we just feel like, Yvette Cooper's probably stuck between a rock and a hard place now, because she's probably got the likes of the Israeli government, screaming at her, she doesn't carry this on, and then Trump being really angry because, those people upset me, like, they destroyed my golf cart.
Oh, God.
Oh my God, you gotta take action with them. And then also, like, this is her political career, so she has to, I don't know, I really don't care how she's feeling. It's just, she's taken the wrong path, and history will judge her for what she's done.
I think one of the worst things I've heard about it is the amounts that she was rumoured to be lobbied to prescribe the group in the first place was 215 grand, which for Yvette Cooper isn't really like a massive amount of money, about 2 and a bit years salary, but she's probably worth hundreds if not millions already. It's not a great deal of money to her, and it just makes her look so cheap. She's willing to let fucking genocide continue and to bar people from protesting against it in the UK for 215 grand. I mean, it's a minor point, obviously. She shouldn't be doing it. It's not as though if it was more money it would validate it, but it just shows how fucking cheap she is, really.
It's the pressure, and we were always talking about like how we don't want to have foreign governments interfering, and like, well, you've had 2 now pressurize you to doing something so ridiculous.
Yeah.
So that is foreign governments interfering with how you run your own country. So that just proves. I mean, I just sometimes kind of feel like we've changed from the United Kingdom to the United States of Israel. But it's just. I mean, the whole day was a joyous occasion to be there with so many like-minded people all doing the right thing.
Yeah.
Going down in history as one of the biggest mass arrests ever.
It is.
Probably. Yeah.
It's not only an example of absolute affront to democracy and justice, but it's also a great example of unity and people power, and that's just from one protest alone. There's more to come. The next one's on the 6th of September.
Yeah, the 6th of September. So, like, if you can be there, whether you can you're there just to show
Support,
solidarity,
yeah.
to support, to help with well-being, because it's actually really quite hard for you to stay there and stay in your reflection mode when there's so much noise going on around you. They really will be needing a lot more support next time if there's going to be 1,000 people.
Yeah.
Just to help de-escalate and just to keep people safe and calm, and also just it's really hard when you've got paparazzi and photographers just like in your face, and especially when you're crying or you're
YouTubers.
yeah. So they will need a lot of support, and even if people can't take action, which nobody needs to do, they can't do it. Nobody's asking you to do that. It's just like it's such an amazing place when you see your friend or somebody turn up and just say, "I love you," while you're sitting there. Thank you, and I love you. We're so proud of you, and that was really touching as well.
It was.
So many of our friends who'd come off the Palestine march, coming and just saying, "We're so proud of you, we love you." And the people in Gaza can see this. They know what you're doing. They know why you're doing it as well. And then you go, "Okay, I can do this. I can do this."
Definitely worth it.
Yeah. 12 hours of discomfort is nothing compared to what those people in Gaza have gone through for 2 years, for 75 years.
Very good point.
Yeah, if I can put myself on the line for that, the Palestinian resilience is just outstanding. It's just like, so whatever bit that we can do, like 2 hours, 3 hours, 5 hours, is nothing compared to what they go through, they've been going through, and what they continue to go through every day.
True. And so where are you at then with your bail conditions? Are you restricted from going to the next one on the 6th?
I'm restricted from attending any demonstration or protest in support of Palestine action, which don't intend to be on a protest in support of Palestine action.
Good. There are another interviewee has said obviously that doesn't restrict you from protesting for support of Palestine in general, for example.
Yeah, I specifically said I'm not going to be attending in support of a Palestine action, but I would attend to support my friends and colleagues and maybe defend our juries.
Yeah, which is a separate,
which is not a prescribed group.
Yeah, they're not yet. So DOJ are not named in the bail conditions, is that right?
No, they're not named.
Well, there could be somewhat of a potentially
opportunistic
oversight.
It's a little bit of a grey area, but I just think if the police
as others have pointed out,
yeah, the police won't be sitting there going, "Oh, well, let's look at the semantics of this." So technically, under English language, this is very different. But I think if you did turn up, they would just whisk you off anyway. So
well, it's by the letter where legislation is concerned.
Yeah. My arresting officer said to me, he kept saying, and so many other police officers said, we get it. And I said, well, why don't you just call in sick next time? So you don't have to lose your job, just call in sick.
Yeah.
that will make your conscience clear, and you're doing us a favour. And they're like looking at us and going, okay, not a bad idea.
Arsenal are playing at home that day. Why don't you go watch that? Or just pull a sickie.
Just pull a sick. That's the best thing you could do.
Yeah.
A lot of police, they don't want to be doing that as well. They rather be out catching real criminals. But they have to do what they're told to do.
Yeah, they didn't sign up for this. They signed up to fight proper real crime.
Yeah, but he even said, when he was looking at my placard, he said, well, you do have a placard that says, you're in support. He says, it's a shame that, that word at the end, that you put that on. And I went, what? Acton?
Acton.
What, did you spell it wrong? And I went, I don't know, did I spell it right or did I spell it wrong? He said, oh, sorry, but I think I'm still going to arrest you for dyslexia.
Yeah. And there's the plasticine action thing as well now, isn't there?
Yeah.
I support plasticine action.
I support plasticine action. So I was like, so even if I just hadn't put the N on it, and he went, well, technically you could have got away with it, but you didn't.
Yeah. But you're not registered dyslexic, are you?
No,
well,
sadly not.
There you go.
Yeah, but it was worth doing, and and I just kind of feel like I was really proud to be with so many people who felt the same.
Yeah. Well, I'll be there next time in whatever capacity. So
great.
definitely looking forward to at least showing support, or who knows, we'll see what happens. But it did look like I did get proper fear of missing out when I saw the footage and I was hearing about it. I can imagine just how great the atmosphere was, and everyone's described, you know, the singing and the shows of solidarity and just all the love and togetherness, and I bet it was really good. And obviously it's
and it wasn't so much about, for me, it wasn't so much, it was great to be in solidarity with so many people taking action for the same cause.
Yeah.
But it's just, I just feel like a lot of people just felt they I couldn't call myself a climate activist or a Palestine activist or anything really if I don't take this action. You know, this is where we've come to, and so we have to be prepared to keep going and fighting this fight.
Yeah. Don't just leave it up to other people, you know.
And if other people can't do it, then, you know, I would do it for them in a way. But it was a difficult decision to make, like especially when you've got kids or you've got, you know, my kids are both phoning me. I've got grown-up kids, but they were phoning me in the morning and saying, "Listen, we really don't think you should do this." You know, one of them said to me, "What? So, well, am I going to have grandchildren? They're going to visit you in jail?" And I went, "Well, you've got 5 hours to produce a grandkid, and then I might change my mind." But then afterwards, they were like, "We're so proud of you. We're so proud of you. You know how much this means to you, and you know what you're doing." So, yeah. And even like my neighbours were knocking on the door saying, "We're really proud of you."
Yeah. Oh, that's great. Because I've met your brood, and they're great kids. So that's really good to know. Yeah, brilliant stuff. Oh, so you've got something coming up. I'll have to let you go in a moment, won't I?
Oh yeah. I've got an international call coming up now.
Oh, international, very good.
International, that's me, you know, Lady of Leisure International.
Well, thanks a lot for giving us your time. I know how busy you are.
No,
yeah,
sure.
We'll catch up soon. And,
okay.
I'll talk to you in a bit. Thanks again.
Thank you so much for asking me to do this interview. Very kind of you.
No problem.
Okay.
See you
Peace
in
and
a
love.
bit. Bye, Alex. Bye.
Free Palestine.
Free Palestine. Thanks so much. Yeah, you don't need to listen to the end scroll. Great interview, that. Really enjoyed it. Let's get some background music. Thanks a lot for your comments in the chat throughout that interview. Some great points there. Yes, Hedy, new novel of 1984 is out now. Prison Island 2025. Britain for war, for oil war, genocide. Coming soon, or coming now, to a society near you. Some other great points about foreign influence, selling sovereignty for Israel. Graham Turner, thanks a lot for your comments there. Yeah, as well as that 215k bribe. Let's use the proper terminology. Lobbied for 215,000. But it is a bribe. That's how much it costs to buy a walk, you know. I bet she didn't even haggle. This is, of course, a massive stone around her neck now. Yvette Cooper. So yeah, thanks again, Alex, if you are listening live or back on a replay. I'll be catching up with Alex on the 6th of September. That's when the next demonstration takes place. You're going to be getting some exclusive footage and interviews again as we keep you up to speed with that story. Great picture there. I think that's one of the significantly iconic ones from that weekend. £300 per arrest. Yeah, if you work that out. We'll move on to other matters. Just before we do, a quick update on the poll. Overwhelmingly, 72% of you think that Diane Abbott's going to hold on to Hackney at the next general election and will fend off Zach Polanski, who's laid down the gauntlet. That's the story that we're going to get into next. We also owe some thanks to Hedy for those 5 gifted memberships. Thank you very much. Solidarity. Thanks for your support as always. That means, people. We can adjust the membership goal, which I'll just put back up. Thank you very much. 104. Back over the 100 mark as well. Let's big up Hedy in the chat, please, people. Right, let's get over to this story, which was alerted from a post on social media. So I think it was from Zach Polanski's actual account himself. They did come second in Hackney North and Stoke Newington, to give it its full title. I couldn't fit the full title into the question on the poll. Apologies. He says, so it's a choice for Labour to mess Diane around so much, with the wilting rose symbol as well. And then he says the next general election is coming and the Greens are growing. Apparently Labour have already started to make moves to find a successor for Diane Abbott in her North London seat. Are they anticipating her standing down? Are they anticipating that they're going to force her out or try to force her out again? Either way, someone's going to be waiting in the wings. But whomever she stands for, you have to say that the people of Hackney North and Stoke Newington are right behind her and have been since 1987. How old is Diane now? I can quickly look that up. She is 71. She was born on the 27th of September 1953. So she'll be 75 around the time of the next general election. Doc Davies, you think she might retire before the next general election? That's an interesting point. She's a couple of years younger than Corbyn. Whether he will become the leader of what yourparty.uk becomes remains to be seen. That's going to be a very democratic process, thankfully. But will it be Sultana, perhaps? Will it be a co-leadership? Let's see what some of the comments say in that is replies to this post. Diane Abbott will take that seat regardless of party. Labour will waste resources on it and lose, someone says. The Greens need to throw the kitchen sink at this seat. She has a 15,000 majority, but this poster thinks that can be overturned. NHS nurses say Diane would definitely win this seat as an independent candidate, but amazing. How amazing would it be if she joined the Greens? I don't think that's an official NHS page. I'll just quickly... Well, I'm not sure. There's no blue tick. They do have 126,000 followers. Just to point that out. On the retirement, someone asks, has Diane said she is retiring, or is she likely to stand as an independent, or more likely for the new party, in which case would you want the Greens to endorse her as the candidate and effectively campaign for her? Interesting scenario, or hypothetical situation at least. Graham Turner, a good point there in the chat. That is something that I'm hoping for. For maximum efficacy, you need one socialist candidate in every seat, whether it be an independent, the Greens, or yourparty.uk. Most of the grassroots organisations and smaller parties have already said that they're either getting behind the Greens or Your Party UK as well. Trade Union Socialist Coalition being one of the prominent ones. Graham, you're asking Siri. Will Siri play the Sunday live stream if you ask it, or the Brews at 10 during the week if you ask it? Have we reached such heights? Are we being observed by artificial intelligence? Have you asked your chat GPT recently what my left eye is on YouTube? Well, I haven't. I don't particularly use AI that much. I did use it for a couple of voiceover bits on comedy sketches that I did, but I certainly don't use it when I'm providing normal video content or anything, that's for sure. Nope, this is all 100% authentic, including the technical difficulties. They're all 100% organic as well. None of that processed shite. We have all proper stuff round here. JK, you think that Labour will call an early election before Your Party UK is ready to destroy them? Another good point. It wouldn't be the first time in recent history that elections have been held ahead of schedule. After the 2017 election, of course, the Tories couldn't get a damn thing through Parliament because of Jeremy Corbyn, who blocked more bills than any other opposition leader in history. Hence the continued scam against him, and they called an election just over 2 years later. Scandalous, chicanery. It besmirks British politics even further. Any other interesting comments before we move on to other matters? Someone says, I love you, Zach, and I know you don't mean it like this, but it sounds a bit like you're threatening Diane Abbott if she decides to run again, rather than threatening Labour. Well, let's just see the actual, how is it actually put again. So it highlights that they came second in Hackney and Stoke Newington. They did in quite a lot of other seats as well, it's worth mentioning. Just turn the background music down a little bit, apologies. He says, so he does say it's a choice for Labour to mess Diane around so much. The next general election is coming and the Greens are growing. Well, he is having a dig at the Labour Party there for messing Diane around. That's one way of putting it. I think it was absolutely diabolical what they did to her. For me, this looks more like an invitation. I think he's pointing out that together they could be unstoppable. You could perhaps put it in that context. She has a 15,000 majority over the Greens, so I'm not sure who was third in the running. Can take a quick look. Just to try and figure out what effects combining their efforts would have, you know what I mean? Let's get those results up. I'll just get that up here. I'm not going to put it on the screen. It was excuse me, it was Lib Dem came third. Oh no, sorry, hang on. No, it was the Tories came third, and they were, well, 6,000 behind the Greens. So let's say if they combine their efforts, they could potentially get, let's say, 33,000 combined votes, which would be around tenfold that of David Landau, who was the last Tory candidate there. Got 8.4% of the vote share. He was down 4.6, and then after that it tails off from the low thousands with the independent Combat Diva gaining 0.4%. She's a powerhouse, nonetheless, whatever happens. I would say that joining the Greens is perhaps maybe not that likely. She'd be more likely to go along with Sultana and Corbyn, or stand as an independent. I think significantly more likely. I would say 75-25, with it wanting to sound like Trump. Yeah, there's a 25% chance that these talks could go bad. A little bit more about that in a moment or two, actually. Please share your thoughts on that matter with me in the comments. If you're watching back later on, make sure you've hit those buttons, people. Get on to another matter now. Just back towards the realm of protest concerning some friends of mine as well. But some positive news that I'd like to share with you in case you haven't heard about this. First of all, finally, after being held for far longer than he should have, Roger Hallam, who's one of the co-founders of Just Stop Oil, someone who I've campaigned with in JSO as well as the Humanity Project, is free after 13 months He was serving originally a 5-year sentence reduced to 4 after being convicted of conspiracy to commit a public nuisance last year in relation to the M25 gantry actions in 2025. And that was for giving speeches on Zoom that he was convicted for, effectively. Yeah. And he served 13 months for it, so it's great to see Roger free. I'm not sure if you're watching, but it's great. I hope that we can catch up soon. Hope that you're well. Just want to send love and solidarity to Roger. Great stuff. The news about his release. Also, some other good news from my friends in JSO. You can see Guido on the left there, who's one of the pair of Pride painters, along with Arthur on the right. They were both found not guilty for spraying the Coca-Cola float at the Pride parade with red. I think it was red, green and black. Palestine, that is, flag colours. Found not guilty. Great stuff. So yeah, solidarity with Guido and Arthur there. Just a little bit more on some UK demonstrations as well. There were some counter-protests against the far right which took place in the south, but also up here in Manchester, specifically Didsbury, for anybody who's familiar with the Manchester area. You can see here, it shows solidarity. Manchester is anti-fascist, fascists on the attack, we fight. Great stuff. Don't have this queued up. I'm going to be covering this on a Bruise at 10 live stream during the week. But another group of people who I know were at this demonstration, one of them got in between quite an aggressive far-right demonstrator and somebody else, and there was a bit of an altercation in which a friend of mine received a blow to the face. I've been sent a video of it. It's half an hour long. I've still got to edit and splice a few bits out before I can cover that for you. It's been a busy old weekend, but I will have that for you during the week. Also here in Manchester, this is a demonstration calling to kick Israel out of FIFA and the Olympics, sporting events. Israel have killed hundreds of footballers, hundreds of Olympians, and many people, including Gary Lineker, as well as joined this campaign for Israel not to be allowed to participate in international sporting events such as the World Cup and of course the Olympics. That looked like, if you'll just forgive me for just skip back a little bit, pretty sure that was... I think you'll see towards the left of your screen, it's a cardboard cutout of what appears to be Eric Cantona, and there's a quote from him there on the placard. It says, "Is there anyone left who would not call this a genocide?" That's a quote from Eric Cantona there. appears the audio is quite compressed. Apologies for that noise in the background. Look at all those people though. Great show of solidarity. Tons of flags. You can see other footballers who've spoken out recently as well. I should mention as well also Mo Salah went viral, didn't he, this week? He questioned mainstream media for not saying how footballers who were murdered by Israel were killed. I think "How did he die" was the actual post, and that went viral. So good to see Mo Salah calling out the mainstream media. Seen a lot more sports people, professionals getting involved as well. This would be just going down Market Street from Piccadilly Gardens for anyone who's familiar with Manchester. A little bit further up the road there you'll find Piccadilly train station. This was probably filmed from the tram stop there. Just want to get super Easter eggy, geeky. Apologies, I don't have the original loader to be able to give credit to them. I don't have their name, unfortunately. If you are aware of that, please post that in the comments. I do like to give credit where it's due. Great show of solidarity. Very proud to share that with you from here in Manchester. I think there was another significantly big one in New York as well. Saw some footage of that. International solidarity continues, people, here this Socialist Sunday. Graham, yeah, I did hear about that. There was a racist incident at Anfield during their game. It was the opening match, which took place on Friday evening, wasn't it? Liverpool were late winners, scoring 2 late goals in their match against Bournemouth, but partway through the referee stopped the game. Apparently one of the players had received a racist comment from someone in the crowd who was rightly removed. Players do continue to take the knee at the start of Premier League matches, I believe, but or has it been discontinued? However, there are strong sentiments to kick racism out of football. So good to see some action being taken on that immediately. I'm sure whether you support Liverpool or Bournemouth or any other club, there have been examples of racism against players, unfortunately. It's not, in terms of thuggery, it's not as bad as it was, of course, historically during the 1970s and 1980s. For example, these firms of far-right football hooligans essentially just going to football for the violence, not really having an interest in the sport itself. But even so, we need to stamp out the remaining embers. Michael H. Well, yeah, apparently that is true. They did used to use that as an ingredient when it was first invented. It was the first carbonated soft drink. Well, the point that they came up about was, of course, part of the BDS movement against Israel, boycotting Coca-Cola, who have supported the IDF. It's funny you brought. I've just remembered actually. I think it was a reply to a tweet that someone posted about bringing back the soft drink Lilt a couple of days ago. The Miss Lilt being a drink, but I had to point out that it was actually owned by Coca-Cola, and they just sort of rebranded it as the the pineapple and grapefruit flavour of Fanta. Apparently it still exists, but we just sort of rebranded it. So it's kind of strange. Fanta was invented so that Coca-Cola could sell beverages in Germany during the Second World War. Sort of under the radar, they changed the name of these drinks and they sold them to Germany under the Nazis. And now they've supported Israel as well. So, but the person who posted it, I should point out, had a Palestine flag next to their name, so it was just a kind of like, you know, a word in your ear moment. Just about their campaign to bring back Lilt. Sorry, I don't know why I brought that up. Amber tangent alert there, people. On-screen chats, is it stuck? Let's just refresh that. Ford made engines in Germany, and the United States had agreements not to bomb their factories. Very good reminder there, Odin. First of all, before I play a video clip of public debate and discussion in which someone points out how Israel or Zionism itself is perhaps now at the point of implosion. And the speaker does make some very good points as well. Before that though, here's just the latest on the situation. The remaining pockets now look set to be completely occupied. As of course Netanyahu maniacally announced recently, having stated for the last 2 years that his intentions weren't to occupy all of Gaza. He has now of course announced that he wants to occupy all of Gaza. So Palestinians flee IDF attacks on Gaza City as Israelis protest against the occupation plan is the headline. Even more Israelis standing up against this domestically as well now. Thousands of residents have fled Gaza City's southern Zaytun neighbourhood, where days of continuous Israeli bombardment have created a catastrophic situation. That's a fact. The city's Hamas-run municipality has told the BBC it's always Hamas-run. They don't say US-backed IDF. That's not there in there. Don't see that there. No, it just says IDF. Doesn't say US-backed IDF, does it? And UK-backed IDF. 40 people were killed by Israeli attacks across the territory on Saturday, the Civil Defence Agency have revealed. So Gaza City is one of the final few pockets. There's also Khan Yunis as well as Rafah, I believe, are the three main pockets that are under complete occupation at the moment. They have of course suffered a series of bombardments in the last 2 years. It comes a week after Israel's war cabinet voted to occupy Gaza City, the territory's largest city, and displace its population in a move condemned by the United Nations Security Council. That is, of course, a war crime. As part of the preparations to move the population from combat zones to the southern Gaza Strip for their protection, the supply of tents and shelter equipment to Gaza will resume, said Israeli military body Kogat. No, I don't buy that for a moment. They don't have the right to do that. You don't. Oh, it's up. We'll just safely move you here while we continue to destroy your country. What sort of a world do these people think it is? And in terms, we all know Israel's track record on that, don't we? Safe zones are death zones. Aid distribution centres are bullet distribution centres. If Israel tell you that you're safe somewhere, you better run as fast as your legs can carry you. That is, if you have any legs left. A spokesperson for the Gaza City municipality said mass displacement was already taking place in the Zaytun after 6 days of relentless Israeli strikes, shelling and demolition operations. The neighbourhood is home to about 50,000 people, most of whom have little to no access to food and water, according to the Civil Defence Agency. Ghassan Kashko, 40, who is sheltering with his family at a school building in the neighbourhood, told AFP agency that airstrikes and tank shelling were causing explosions that don't stop. We don't know the taste of sleep, he said. Hamas have said that Israeli forces are carrying out a sustained offensive in the eastern and southern neighbourhoods of Gaza City. That's some of the scenes there, but as I mentioned, there have been, I should say, demonstrations within Israel against the complete occupation, against the starvation. There you can see major roads were blocked and train services have been disrupted during the protest in Israel. So that is within Israel. In that picture there, you can see this isn't the war zone in Gaza. Members of the public have set fire to whatever it is to block the motorways, or highways if you prefer, but it is motorways. The autobahns of Israel. Let's see if there's any more about that in the article. Thousands have taken to the streets in a nationwide protest demanding a deal to secure the release of the hostages. Major roads are blocked and train services have been disrupted. In Jerusalem and Tel Aviv, Jerusalem, that's Quds, many businesses were shut. It's time to, one quote says, it's time to end the war, it's time to release all of the hostages, and it's time to help Israel recover and move towards a more stable Middle East, said Doran Wolfand, a 54-year-old tour guide. And then, of course, the two paragraphs that we always see, that we all know about. Hummus, October 7th, nothing happened on October 6th, or before that, we promise. Good old BBC. "90% of the population have been displaced, that's 1.9 million people. And that picture also, from the domestic protests, it appears that there were tyres, you can see there, in that picture at the top, that was set on fire to shut down the roads. So they're collapsing both from within and without, as this next clip I'm going to play illustrates. This was really good response to the question. Apologies, I'm not sure where this particular public talk took place, but it's definitely worth checking out, people. Something I wanted to share with you this evening. And I know you've hit that thumbs up button, people.
October the 7th, 2023 till now. Where does that fit? Is it footnote or chapter in the sweep of Jewish history?
I think it's could be one of the biggest turning points in Jewish history, maybe the biggest since the fall of the temple in 70 CE, since the Roman conquest, because Judaism has survived. It became the world champion in surviving catastrophes, but it never faced a catastrophe like we are dealing with right now, which is a spiritual catastrophe for Judaism itself. Because what is happening right now in Israel could basically, I think, destroy, void 2,000 years of Jewish thinking and culture and existence. That the worst case scenario that we are facing right now, what we are facing is the potential of an ethnic cleansing campaign in Gaza and the West Bank, resulting in the expulsion of 2 million, maybe more Palestinians from there, the establishment of Greater Israel, the disintegration of Israeli democracy, and the creation of a new Israel, which is based on an ideology of Jewish supremacy and on the worship of what were completely anti-Jewish values for the last 2 millennia. A country based on the worship of power and violence, and which is militarily strong. It will survive, it will be militarily strong, it will have alliances with various bullies around the world. It will also be economically viable, and this will be the spiritual disaster, because this will be the new Judaism that all Jews in the world will have to deal with. It will not disappear. Again, Jews are very good dealing with catastrophes from the Roman conquest to the Holocaust. But this will not be a military catastrophe. The state will actually be successful in military and economic terms. And it will make the challenge much, much bigger. No Jew, say in London or New York or anywhere else, will be able to say, this is not the real Judaism.
Well, you certainly held no quarter there. Let me know what you think about those points. Well, the main point is, of course, that Zionism is a smirk on Judaism, which doesn't follow the same practices, of course. Zionism goes against those practices, the very fundamental practices of Judaism, as well as the other two Abrahamic religions, Islam and Christianity. So the point is that in terms of reputation, they're probably equivalent to groups like the KKK with Christianity are, an extreme group such as ISIS within Islam. Well, I say within, that is, who claim to be part of, but of course do not practice it, and should be seen as being separate from it. That's something Moshe and I actually discussed in another interview. Another Defend Our Juries protester. Do check that interview out if you've not seen it already. But fundamentally now, Israel's name is mud internationally. Anyone who's still sort of clinging to any hope that they might be on the right side of history should really realise that they've backed the wrong horse. We're long past that point. The chips are going to come falling down when it comes to the crunch. People like David Lammy and Keir Starmer really had to have a good hard think about just how complicit they've been, and well, I for one hope that's what keeps them awake at night. I'm sure that groups like Bob Villain do, of course, which brings me on to next part. I'm just going to play the video that makes up part of today's release on the channel. In case you haven't seen that one yet, please do check it out after you've listened to the stream. That came out earlier today. But in the latest festival appearance, which I'm going to play now completely uncensored, it certainly didn't hold back. That is frontman Bobby Villain against his and my own country, as well as Israel. Let's see what's happening, people.
Some of your local MPs didn't want us here. Some of the Zionist lobby groups didn't want us here. Because we speak the truth. Because we will not and cannot be silenced. Because we dare to take this stage and say fuck England and its terrible foreign policy. Because we dare to say fuck the Israeli government and the atrocity and the crimes, the genocide that they are committing. And because we dare to say free, 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 free. Each and every single time they will not shut us up, they cannot shut us up, and we will not go silently, I tell you that much. Here's one.
Well, it's one from Herbie and the Supersonics. I don't think they actually played that during the gig. This is On the Rocks by the resident Sunday Livestream backing group. Well said, Bob Villain. Pretty controversial there, but the UK's complicity certainly don't make this presenter proud to be an Englishman at this moment in time. Don't like to see my country on the wrong side of history. Real patriotism is making sure that your country does the right thing. It's not about flag waving and tattooing as many lions as you can fit onto your, onto your skin. Another plug now for something that's coming up in Manchester later on in the year. I'm going to play this on every Sunday live stream in the run up to it. It's going to be quite a big event, so I'm hoping this reaches as many people as possible for a good turnout. This is the World Transformed, who are putting on a 3-day event here in Manchester in the Hume area. Check this out if you've not seen this ad yet.
This October, something big is coming to Manchester. Across 4 packed days, Hume will turn into a national hub for radical ideas, culture and action. Workshops, assemblies, training and real strategy for the struggles we face right now. Solidarity with Palestine, fighting gentrification, organising our workplaces and building political power. But it's not just politics, it's music, art, exhibitions and the kind of culture that keeps our movements alive. It's where people from across Britain and beyond come together to debate, to dream and to organise. Something is stirring across the country. From the ashes, a new left is emerging. Sometimes history needs a push. This is the World Transformed 2025. Be there. This
Just another plug for those dates there, 9th to 12th, inclusive, the World Transformed, coming to Hume in Manchester this year. If you're from the area, you might want to travel up, it'll be worth it. But hopefully I'll see you there. Shout out to all the members on the channel. Do appreciate your support as always. Got some names to add to this list as well. Thanks for the gifted memberships on tonight's stream. Now at 104, towards the goal of 250. You can also support the channel with super chats. For those watching live, super thanks if you're watching back later on, or if you can't support via YouTube, then there's the Buy Me a Coffee page, which you'll find in the description of this stream and for the channel. Really do appreciate all of your ongoing support, people. Thanks once again. Time for a final We're back. We didn't lose power, but we are back. But it is hello again. We must be going. As we find ourselves in the lounge once again, we'll just say our goodbyes. I'm lining up a redirect, a raid into another channel just as we speak, people. Thanks a lot for joining me on tonight's stream. Sorry about the few technical difficulties. We're working on it. I'm going to raid into Helena, excuse me, at No Justice. So that's all queued up. I'll be back with you for the Brews at 10 live streams during the week, of course. That interview with Alex is going to be available for members only shortly, and then that will go public tomorrow. So please do check that out as well. I know it was on the stream, but it's there for you to watch and share around. Great stuff. Thanks for the watermelons and Palestine flags in the chat as well. Solidarity, everybody. Happy Socialist Sunday once again. This has been the Sunday live stream on My Left Eye. I've been your host, Lefty. Free Palestine, power to the people. My Left Eye will be seeing you soon.